What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. Another episode of the Next Goal Wins podcast. Joe, what episode is this?
Number 55, baby.
We're getting there. 55 is a good number, Georgie. What do you think?
I think it's very nice. It's a good number.
This guy's applying makeup as we start.
No. What I'm trying to do is get my forehead as shiny as Arne Slot's.
Listen, you got a few more.
This is how we're starting.
You got a few more bottles in there, Georgie.
Yeah, right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We have a little bit of a different setup. One of my cameras broke. The video port broke, not the camera. So I don't have to replace a whole camera, but the video port broke that hooks up into the HDMI to the little switcher. So we got one camera for me and Joe. It's a lot of talent in one camera angle right here. All right.
Very expensive shot, this one.
Georgie, because he's the big timer, gets one whole camera angle to himself.
Me and Buddha are
And
back.
Buddha is back, baby.
back.
Buddha's back.
All right, shout outs. Let's get straight into it. What do you got?
Shout out to my boy Buddha. No, I don't. No shout outs.
No shout outs?
No.
Joe, what about you?
I got two, actually. Shout out to my dad, who just had his birthday last week, and shout out to my daughter, who also had her birthday last week. So it was the birthday week in our house. Lots of cake. Lots of cake.
Wow.
Love it. Happy birthday, Sloan.
Getting a little chunky, you know?
Happy
book
birthday,
season. It's
Joe's
book season.
dad. I do have a shout out as well. I forget that I don't have to switch the camera angles as much anymore because it's just me and Joe.
I already
Anyway.
know who. I already know. Can I guess?
He's Michael Oliver.
No.
No.
I hope not.
We'll get into that, Joe. Relax. We'll get into that.
He's going to give a shout out to himself for getting 6 points on the road.
Well, I was going to give a shout out to myself, but not for the 6 points on the road. Not for the 6 points on
For
the road.
breaking the camera.
No. We have a sponsor. Next Go Wins TV, first ever sponsor. Sponsored by Surfboards.
Oh.
Give myself a little shout out there. So I don't know if you guys watch some of the videos, you'll see that in the background sometimes I have the tactical board that I created myself. It might take me too long to put an overlay in here, but basically what I do is I create, when I get bored in my free time, I like to create fake companies that don't really exist. So one of the companies that I created is called Surfboards, and it's basically just me getting like chalkboards, whiteboards, magnetic boards, and like painting soccer lines on them so that I can use them as tactical boards. I just don't like how boring the ones that you get are from the stores, like the white ones. Mm-hmm. They're just boring.
But
So
And you might be
companies.
thinking, why is it called surfboards? There must be a logical explanation for that, and there's not.
I'll put the commercial right here, the time lapse. I'll put it in.
Yeah, you should.
That's what I'm gonna do.
But it's. I don't know why you keep saying it's a fake company. It's not a fake
It's
company.
not really a fake company, but it's not really a company.
So wait, was I your first sale?
Technically, no, because I did it for free.
No. I rounded up some of those fees. You got a few bucks in there.
Joe gave
Plus,
me a 85-cent tip for the.
Okay, tell the people if they want to get one. How do we
They can't. I'm not telling them.
if you can't tell, Javi's the worst person to go into business with.
So I make them for fun. All right, I make them for fun because I like doing it.
No,
I could turn it into a business. I
Okay,
honestly could.
just put the camera on me. I'll explain to people.
For real. It's okay. You could go
George
ahead.
just
Go
wants the
ahead.
camera. Look at how shiny his head is.
Look at
Did
this
you
shiny
just lotion
forehead.
that thing?
Yes, I did. But this is how it works, right? It's going to cost you $100.
Oh, hey, first of all, don't put out prices in there because you don't even. We didn't even really talk about prices. I don't know.
Well,
Go ahead.
Okay.
Besides
anyway.
the price, go on.
Yeah, besides the price. Well, that's what I was gonna say. Listen, this guy's gonna turn it into a business. Okay, I'm pushing him. I'm sure Joe's gonna push him because he made an awesome board. You guys seen the tactical analysis, all those videos. Don't listen to the tactical stuff, but look at the board because this guy doesn't know anything. But he knows about the board stuff. He knows how to make a board. So if you want a board, if you're a coach, especially, you should get a board. Even though he's saying he's not gonna ship them out. We're gonna figure it out. If you want a board, just slide in the DMs.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Here's why.
We'll get you a board.
Let me tell you why it's different, though.
And then Javi will sell you all the reasons why you don't need it.
No. Let me tell you why you do need it. Let me tell you why you do need it.
Well, I started this business and I'm not selling anything and I did it, but this is the thing. But don't ask me to make you one because I won't do it.
This is why I'm not rich yet off of these things. Let me tell you why they're different. One, instead of a whiteboard, because like I said, those boring. This is a blackboard, so it's a chalkboard. So the black just automatically makes it look much cooler than any of the other tactical boards out there. Second, you can write on it with chalk, obviously, which not many people are going to do, but you can. It's magnetic on both sides, so you have the magnets that you can move around. And the back side of the board is like a really nice aluminum that is a whiteboard. Aluminum is like a whiteboard, so you can actually use the back to write as a whiteboard, and then use the other side for your magnets and chalk as it. And I can customize the color of the lines to any color you want. So for Joe's, I did white. For one of the other ones that I did a gold. I've done a blue, and it comes with a neat little sticker that tells you the number of the board, which is basically the number, like how many boards in I'm at. So right now I've only made, I think Joe's was 4 or 5. 4, right?
Yep.
So the next person that gets a board will get 5, and then so on, and you get a sticker. If that isn't the scariest thing that's ever happened.
That's
super
absolutely creepy.
For those who are wondering what just happened at home, one of the kids' toys just started playing music in the other room, and we were worried that a kid was up, and they're not. So now
No, you're just
we're
chucking the quarters.
yeah, freaked out.
All right. Anyway, we've gotten way off topic. I'll put the commercial in right now. All right, and then
Does
we'll
it
get back.
scientifically, does it win you more points if you have that board? From the 4
Yes.
so far. So the 3 so far, because Joe's yet to test it out.
Yes, but the cool thing is, I guarantee when Joe takes it on trips and he goes to places and like uses the board, he will get coaches who come up to him and ask him where he got that board, because I haven't seen a board like that ever.
And I'll tell them.
And Joe's
Surfboards.com. Look it up. Good luck.
Oh no, not surfboards.com. That's gonna take you to some like
Actual
surfboard. Is it like an actual surfboard?
So some of them actually make sense, yeah.
But
sense.
let me know. Maybe I will make 1 or 2 here and there.
You should. What do you mean?
Maybe I will.
He will. It's not a question of, yeah.
All right. Anyway, we've gone on too long with the intros. So shall we get into the pre-cap?
Let's do it.
Okay. So
We're
the
10
pre-cap,
minutes in.
Fantasy Premier League. We gotta give the updates, the shout outs to the. Georgie's not happy. I know why Georgie's not happy. So Fantasy Premier League, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Premier League roundup for this past weekend, because a lot is going on. VAR, refereeing, performances, the whole thing. Question of the day. Got a good one today. And then we have the sports card segment, which is Joe's bread and butter on this podcast. We'll finish it off with fun facts, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, last podcast that we did, I did not do a fun fact section. Right?
I don't know.
I don't remember. And I was thinking about it. I was
don't
like,
think you
dang, we
did.
forgot that.
Was that when he asked us about the hat trick? Was that one?
Yeah, wasn't it a fun one? Like, it was a question. It wasn't a
It
fun
was a
fact.
fun fact. It was more of a trivia.
Maybe.
There was a trivia.
Maybe I
something.
didn't forget, but I felt like, I was like, dang, I don't think I did one on the last one. And that's the only segment that we do every single time since we started.
Damn. So,
So-
we should start from 0.
Yeah.
This is
Start
podcast
again.
number 1.
Episode
Podcast
number
number
0. So, let's get straight into the Fantasy Premier League. Joe's going to update us on the standings. We do have a link in the description that you can join our Fantasy League with that link. Joe, where are we at?
Yeah, so please join. We're up to 174 amazing human beings. Maybe there's some bots in there, but I doubt it, that have joined us and are competing. We're going to prop out the top. We should start at the bottom, you guys think, this time, right? We'll go with the bottom 5,
Oh, 175th? Okay.
and then we'll prop out the top 10. And if I can find where Javi's name is somewhere in there, I will also let you guys know where Javi is. I was able to find Georgie. But, yeah. So, currently in last place, Chris. Team name Class on Grass. Hopefully you're keeping it classy down there at the bottom of the table.
He was the same person that we talked about last week.
Was he
Yeah,
still
I
at the
also
bottom?
think he joined us late,
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
So
So he's got
maybe
some
he can
catching
catch
to do.
up. He did get 54 points, so not too bad.
Damn, what the
But
More than me.
It's more
yeah,
than me,
uh-huh.
I think.
Second to last, Ponte Las Pilas Pod.
It's our boy.
Yeah, Lalo
Boys.
on 151 overall points.
Also joined late, to his defense. He's got some catching up to do. What did he get this?
54 as well. 54 as
not
well.
terrible.
So 151 on the season so far. Third from the bottom, Man Dog.
Yeah,
Matthew.
he's been struggling.
Yeah, 37 points.
he did join late, too.
Joined
No, I
late.
don't think he did.
He did. He
like
was
1 week late. though.
1 week late, yeah.
Yeah, well, he did captain Dominic Calvert-Lewin, so that could be the problem there.
don't
And he
think he
started
played.
Gabriel Jesus.
Oh, yeah, he's given up.
Yeah.
It's okay,
Some of
man.
the other picks not bad. But Calvert-Lewin's not the guy. Not the guy. Fourth from the bottom, Bulls. Anthony. Bulls. And then fifth
He
from the
thinks he's in
bottom,
the NBA fantasy.
OMW2F YB.
Yeah, we talked
We
about
figured
it.
that one out
yeah.
last time.
We're not going to repeat
We're
that.
not going to go into that. But that's our bottom five. Bottom five. We've got some work to do, but super long season. Super long season. What, 34 more game weeks to go? Something like that. So
Join the
plenty
league.
of
Join the
time.
league.
Join the league if you're not in. And maybe you'll climb to the top and be one of these folks who's going to get a prize. We're going to give out, some champion grind gear, maybe some liquid football gear, maybe a guest appearance on the pod, depending on where you reside in the world.
Joe will fly you out.
So many options. But we'll start at number 10 and work our way up. We have 3 people tied for the 8th spot. Slot tit in the corner. Slot tid. And drop it like it's slot.
Dang.
A lot of
I
slots.
wonder,
Lots of
I wonder
slots.
what team they support.
Yeah.
All on 367 points. Amazing work, making the top 10. Currently in 7th place. I still have one of my favorite names. Xerxes Jerks Me. It's a good one. 6th place, Honest Slot. 5th place, Nick's Tape FC. Then to your top 4. We got Chicken Tikka Mosala. The GOAT team
that
sitting in 3rd. The Konate Kid sitting in 2nd. And another great week, still sitting on top of the Next Goal Wins podcast table. It's hard to say. Darlo Puñas.
And I actually know who this is. Well, I'm sure I know more than just this person. But the reason why I know is because they posted just like 2 days ago, like, I'm so amazing at fantasy. And they posted our league. And I commented, like, you're a piece of shit. Like, how he got 73 points this week.
He did. He made some great moves. Looking at his team, man, he got Ollie Watkins. I will say, if you look at this team, there is no Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Just saying. But Ollie Watkins, Holland, Rogers, Palmer, Embuemo, Salah, Robertson. And he had Sanchez in goal. Like, he had everybody return except for Bednarak and Johnson. So
It's not that hard. No, I'm not going to say it's not that hard, but it's like Football Manager. Like,
No.
you can put a little bit more work into it. And yes, there's obviously
It's
depending
hard.
on the performances.
It's hard.
But what
and
I'm
you
saying
gotta
is,
get lucky.
what I'm saying is, like, most people, almost everyone, not almost everyone, but most people will play it just pretty casually. Like, I like this player, I like this player. But these guys are the ones that go in there and they look at who's playing who on every single match week.
Yeah, but it's
And
different.
they move players around to try and give themselves the best
But
chances.
you
You
can't
can't
because
because
you can't just transfer people in and out because then you get
Right.
deducted points.
But that's
so.
what I'm saying. It takes a little bit more work to figure
yeah.
that part out, because I guarantee he's being really smart with his one transfer a week and also his like chips and all the other stuff that he's got. So
Speaking of people
He's
who
done
aren't,
well.
aren't that smart on it at it, do you know what place you're in, Javi? Because I can't find you.
I think I'm in like 70th, 79th maybe.
I dropped
Somewhere around
down,
79, I think.
You are. I can't find you.
I'm in there somewhere.
You
think I'm
are
79.
far down there.
What about Georgie?
Georgie is currently in 27th with 348 points.
He dropped.
I dropped us 4th.
Someone sitting in 29th, only 3 points behind you, Georgie.
How many points did you get this week?
Joe Deneweth. Watch out, big dog.
How many points did you get?
53.
How the hell did you catch me up? What did I get? 30?
You
Oh,
got
I'm
50.
I'm 70th. Check it.
And then Javi sitting on, yeah, you're right, 316 points, 70th. And both
Top
of you
third.
have already used a chip yet already, so here we
Yeah.
come, baby.
I forgot to
Here we
update
go.
my teams though. I forgot to update my teams this week,
Here
so
we
it is what it is.
go.
All right, cool. Moving on from that. Yeah.
No, that's not cool at all.
Let's go into the Premier League roundup. This is going to be the majority of the
This is going to be it. This is it.
show this time. So, first of all, thank you for making it. We're like almost 15 minutes in, and we haven't talked about anything yet. So, thank you for sticking around.
Sounds like a normal day in the office for us.
Let's get straight into it. The match of the weekend, Manchester City
Chelsea.
Arsenal.
Oh, okay.
Calm down, all right? Calm down. I did have Eddie, my boy Eddie from Chelsea. He was like, just went off and started talking shit to me at the beginning of the game, and I was like, dude, you won like you had one good game, and all of a sudden you're talking shit. But anyway, and he played a shit team. Manchester City Arsenal. Georgie, let's get the non-biased opinion first from you. Go on, son.
Absolutely loved it. What a beautiful game to watch. It was one of my favorite games to ever watch. It all started. Where should we begin? Oh, maybe 2 seconds into the game when Havertz and Rodri try to just tackle each other or whoever started. I don't even know. But as soon as that happened, I was like, I need more of this. This is going to be a fun game. And I messaged you. You were coaching, but I messaged you. I was like, bro, this is the game. All I wanted is people to get beat up, keep playing. I wanted red cards. We got red cards. I wanted craziness. We got craziness. I wanted people to talk shit to each other.
And you wanted a draw.
And I wanted a draw in the end. Perfect day for a neutral.
How bad was Michael Oliver's performance to you as a neutral?
I mean, as a neutral, there's two ways as a neutral. One is a fairway. The other one's 100 out of 10. It was an amazing game to watch as a neutral.
Well, no, I know, but like actual.
No, he was awful. He was awful. Let's be honest. But I think, to be fair, I think he was awful on both sides. Like he was consistently awful throughout. Joe's not happy about that. Well, he was consistently awful on both sides. And the red card, I think, well, we're going to get into it, but do you want me to just
Go on.
All right, so we begin the Havertz thing. The Havertz thing and the Haaland thing in the end is very similar to me. How Haaland and Partey, like Havertz, Rodri, cancel each other out if you want. Then what was the next thing? The Rodri injury. That's like, I know I hate Manchester City, but
just unlucky.
I feel bad for Rodri being injured for a long time. So ACL, he's out for a while, but I feel bad for that. But besides that, obviously that turns the game around a little bit. I think that was a bit of a turning point in terms of that's when Arsenal started to get more on the ball, started more attacking and all that stuff. Gabriel, Calafiori, Saliba. Fucking awful on the first goal.
Yeah.
Calafiori gets ran around Savinho. And then Gabriel and Saliba are 30 yards apart. No, not 30. I'm over like 20 yards apart. Mm-hmm. And if you watch the tape, they released it of Pep Guardiola watching the whole goal. Like there's a camera on him. And he keeps like pointing like this. Play it in between. So like if the manager is looking at that, he's like, that gap is huge. Mm-hmm. I understand Gabriel had to come cover for Calafiori. But it's not like Calafiori got beat down the line. He got beat in the middle. So why are you, like, I don't know. It made no sense. And you're giving a Haaland near post. I'm not going to blame Raya for that, but like near post and all that. That's 100% on those three. What do we have next? Next is the Arsenal goal. Mm-hmm. Free kick, middle of the field. And Michael Oliver let the game go up until that point. And there was a lot of fouls that probably should have been some yellow cards in between those 30 minutes or whatever it was. So that's why you brought both captains to talk to them in the middle of the field. Why I don't agree with is he didn't let Kyle Walker go back and set himself. The argument can be made, why didn't Kyle Walker run straight back into his spot? You're not required to sprint your ass back. Like if the referee calls you over out of your position, you have time to get back. Like they should wait for you. You don't have to sprint. So if I was a City fan, I'd be like, yo, you called me over. You took my captain, the right back, out of position. Arsenal played the ball pretty quick in terms of like he wasn't set. The referee allowed it. And he's out of position. Did he get back in position? Yeah. Should they have done better after that? Yeah. And then Calafiori, amazing strike. You really save that anyway. I don't care who you are. The other thing NBC pointed out is, which happens in every game, so I don't think it was that big of a deal, was... Did you watch it on NBC? No, did you watch it on NBC? Did you see the halftime?
I did, yeah.
They showed the picture of where the free kick was to where they took it.
Yep.
And they measured it 8 yards. And in my head, I'm thinking, like, that shit happens everywhere around the field. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not just that situation. So, overall, in the whole situation, I'm more upset about the fact that Kyle Walker wasn't let back in position. So, that's the negative on the Man City side. What else is there? Then we fast forward to
Leandro Trossard.
Yep.
The red card, right? Mm-hmm. Trossard, the first one, I think it's a fair yellow, 100%. The second one, I think he's a complete dumbass for running into Bernardo Silva like that. I have no idea what he was thinking in the first place. And originally, I thought that's what the yellow card was for. And that's what the commentator thought, because they're listening to VAR, to the referee talk to VAR, mm-hmm. and tell them what he saw. So he, according to them, because they can hear the communication, he said that it's for a reckless foul. Which, can you argue if it was a reckless foul? You can make an argument like, is it a yellow card? Is it not? Whatever. But to me, when I watched it, Bernardo Silva's going up for the ball. He's looking at the ball. Trossard just comes and just fucking takes him out from behind. Like, he's not even looking at the ball. It's like, whatever. And then, at halftime, then he kicks the ball away. So originally, we didn't even see it on the broadcast. Like, they cut off to Bernardo Silva on the ground and Michael Olive from a different angle. So then, at halftime, Rebecca Lowe says that EPL match center said the second yellow was for kicking the ball away, and then they started to show the replays of that. And he's a dumbass for kicking the ball away. Does it happen everywhere else? Yes, but it's not like you kick the ball away like he blasted the ball, like he was like in frustration because of the foul. It should have been a yellow, like just not for the foul, just for the kicking the ball away. To the letter of the law, technically, yes. Should there have been all the yellow cards in every single game, like in the Premier League in any game for that? Yeah. The consistency is the problem for me. So it just depends how you want to look at it. But I thought the foul could have been a yellow itself. And then as soon as the game started for the second half, the commentators pointed that out. They're like, well, this doesn't make sense because we're hearing the referee talk to the VAR officials, like him telling them what the yellow card was for. And then EPL match center is telling Rebecca Lowe and other people something completely different at halftime. So I think that's a problem on its own. Like you can't have two different reasons of why you're giving a yellow card. Like that should have been, it's either you're giving it for kicking the ball away or you're giving it for the foul. And there shouldn't be any confusion of what the situation is. So I thought that's a bit weird of like, you hear the referee communicate and all that. And then after the red card, I don't blame Arsenal for playing the way they did. Like park the bus, like literally just stay inside the 18-yard box. And it almost worked out. I know a lot of people had a problem with Arsenal playing that way. I didn't at all. If Arsenal would have played that way from the beginning, then I would have been like, you guys are making the same mistake as last season of like, you guys are not really trying to win. You guys are trying to get the point. But you guys had chances in the first half. You guys played fine. Like it wasn't, you guys didn't park the bus the whole time. When you go a man down at the Etihad against Manchester City, completely know what to do that. And Manchester City found it very hard to break that down. I will say, and I told Javi this, I think Pep got it wrong in terms of that whole, not the whole 45 minutes in the second half, but when you have Akanji, Ruben Diaz, and Kovacic on top of your box, waiting for shots, Arsenal's not going to care. They're going to let Akanji shoot from 25 yards out. They're not going to apply any pressure. Why would they come out? You have everybody inside the box. Man City passing the ball around. They're not finding any space. They're putting some crosses in. You guys have tall players. You guys are heading, clearing everything out. Absolutely no problem. What I thought he should have done, and it's what he did the last 10 minutes, is put the smaller, more creative players around the box. And once he did that, you saw Declan Rice and Partey and like some older players, Gabriel Jesus, step out the box because now they're worried about a creative pass that can be slid from Foden or Grealish or whoever, or a shot from far away because those guys can shoot. So I think if Pep Guardiola would have done that earlier, Arsenal would have been forced to step out a little bit more compared to just completely stay inside the 18-yard box. But then Man City scored in the last second, and then Haaland runs into Partey in the middle of the field and says, what did he say? To Arteta, stay humble, and then starts talking shit to Gabriel Jesus, get the fuck away from me, and all that stuff. Blockbuster game. I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Hold on. Before you finish, though, two more incidents. One, the goal. I want to get your thoughts on the header, the set piece, Arsenal set piece. Obstruction.
Oh, yeah.
That one. And Haaland throwing the ball at Gabriel after Man City scored the goal.
That's what I mean. This game is amazing. Okay, the set piece. I talked about it on Twitter. It's a tough one because it's not the first time it's happened. Technically, if we're being technical, again, according to the law, it's a foul. It's obstruction. If you put 2 or 3 players, and that's the game plan, to crowd the goalkeeper, not let him move like outside of his area, it's a foul. And on the picture, or the video on that goal, you see Martinelli literally with his back turned, not even looking at the ball. He's looking this way. The ball's coming from here, just completely blocking Ederson. Technically, it's a foul, but that stuff doesn't get called. So teams, one, have to do better. You don't put Doku, you don't put Kyle Walker marking the best probably header on the ball from set pieces in the Premier League. And if the referees don't call it, then Arsenal have no. Why would you stop doing what works? Like they did it last year. Not to this extent, but now in the few set pieces that we've seen this year, they have a completely different, like, run up. Everybody far post. Everybody runs in towards the goalkeeper, kind of blocks their way, makes a scramble in there. Then you have, if you can place the ball in the far post where a goalkeeper cannot reach, and you have Gabriel, who's literally like a crazy maniac jumping into the post and crossbar, possibly might hit himself and just, gets ahead on the ball, I think it's fine. But I do think next year we're going to see a rule change. I don't think this is going to stand. There's no way the Premier League keeps allowing. Because if Arsenal do it, our team's like, okay, we'll start doing it. And then it's going to become like it's Premier League just not, I don't think they're going to allow it. And then the Haaland thing, me and Joe, it's funny when you look at it, but you can't be doing that shit. There's no way. Like, I don't know what the repercussion is. Like, is that a straight red?
I don't know.
I don't know what, like, can you give that a straight red?
For which one?
For
the ball one,
yeah.
or for the running into Partey one?
For the throwing the ball. Technically,
by the letter of the law,
by the law,
supposed to
right?
be, but yeah, it has to be like blatant and violent. It was blatant. I wouldn't call it violent.
I would actually call it violent because you're hitting the guy on the back of the head, and he's not looking.
Yeah.
So technically, that could be,
depending on how hard you're throwing the ball and what happened.
And that was a pretty hard throw. I'm not gonna lie. He was like 5 yards away. The guy just
because the ball bounces like 10 yards away.
But Gabriel doesn't even react.
Yeah.
I don't even think he knew it was Haaland that did it.
Well, no. By the time he had his shirt over his head, so by the time
which makes him more dangerous.
But by the time he like takes off his shirt and realizes somebody hit him, Holland's like 20 yards away already at that point, and somebody else is running the other direction. So he kind of looks around like,
There's no
what just happened?
Yeah.
So he must have probably thought like the ball just bounced somewhere and it just like ended up coming back and hit me. But he saw the video afterwards and was like probably fuming about it.
Probably like, I can't wait to see this guy. Yeah.
All right, Joe, let's get your thoughts, Joe. I want to hear as an Arsenal supporter.
Some of the things Georgie said I agree with. Some of the things Georgie, you said you've completely lost the plot. So I guess we'll go through the whole game again. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, tell me what you agree with.
So overall, you said a lot. So
I
I'm
know,
trying to like replay in my
Yeah.
head all the things you said. I'll just try and go through the game as we go. The Havertz-Rodri thing to start. I think Havertz is dumb for getting himself in that position. And honestly, I think that was like the first decision, in my opinion, that Michael Oliver got. I don't want to say got wrong, but didn't set a good didn't do a good job of setting the tone right then and there of like getting control of the game. Because like right from it was literally kickoff, bam, that happens. That Rodri overreacted on it by far, which I think is kind of messed up and just annoying. And then Havertz is dumb for putting himself in that position because he very easily, in my opinion, could have gotten carded. I don't think he hit him with enough force for it to be a red card. VAR obviously said the same thing. But I don't think Michael Oliver would have been outside of his mind for giving him a yellow right there. Obviously, he probably doesn't want to give a yellow 2 seconds into a game. But that, to me, kind of set everything off. Then in terms of the build-up to the City goal, Calafiori gets way too tight to Savinho. Savinho has a great touch, gets himself into great space. And then some things that jumped out to me. Number one, I don't know where Partey or Rice were in terms of like being in that space, because you should have your 6 somewhere close protecting your back 4 there. Maybe not to get on him and win the ball, but to at least put him under pressure, because I think he took 2 or 3 touches, maybe not 3, but 2 touches, and had plenty of time to pick out the pass. And the person to me that really messed it up was Saliba, because he went centrally to mark, I think it was Gundogan. And I think Saliba was naive enough thinking, because the line that he took, I think he thought he could catch Haaland. Because to me, the blatant opportunity for them to score is Haaland, and you have to get, even with Gabriel, and get yourself in a position where if Haaland gets the ball, you can at least get touch tight and get a tackle to him. But he went the other way first, which then made that gap bigger. That was the first mistake from the 2 center backs. And then the second mistake was Gabriel wasn't even with Saliba. Because if he's even with Saliba, Haaland's offside. But he was 2 or 3 yards behind him, and he could have seen, he saw him. Because Gabriel's running, if Haaland's there, he's running over his right shoulder, I think, and he's looking at Savinho, and he sees Saliba and he sees Haaland. That to me, he takes 1 or 2 steps forward, just like he did in the United game with Garnacho. Remember last season when he got Garnacho offside by like a millimeter, when he stopped running and just stood there, and Garnacho's lean took him offside? I thought that's what he was going to do when I saw it like playing out, and he didn't. And then the second Haaland got on the ball, super tighty finish. It looked awkward, but super, like near post, wrong-footed Raya, goal. So I think we're on the same page there mostly.
Yeah.
The Arsenal goal, I don't really care necessarily about the 8-yard difference because it's in the middle of the field. It's not like Partey. If the ball was 8 yards back, he couldn't hit the same pass because he could. And I do disagree a bit with the whole, because Kyle Walker, Oliver had stopped talking to them. And Saka had vacated the area. Kyle Walker, though, started coming back, and then he turned and then went back and kept talking and saying something. And I don't know if he was talking to Michael Oliver or someone else. And that's when the ball was played. So, like, I would have understand if the ball's played when Michael Oliver, like, is like, yep, break, and they're still both in the center, so go by him, and he plays it. Like, that, to me, is pretty messed up. But he let him stop. Kyle Walker gets back like 3/4 of the way into position, turns, starts talking, then the ball's played, and then he starts sprinting back and going like this. He gets back, and then obviously the layoff, and then absolutely amazing goal. Like, what a first Premier League start at the Etihad, and that's the goal you score. Hell yeah for that signing, and hell yeah, Calafiori. Side note
makes
too.
Makes up for the first goal.
Sure. Martinelli got on the score sheet too with the gorgeous assist from that. No, I'm just kidding. But he did get on the score sheet for the first time in a while, which was a good thing from an Arsenal perspective. And then in terms of where I think it really started falling apart was it just started getting chippy. And there wasn't Michael Oliver didn't do a good enough job about getting cards out to people who were having certain fouls. One that stands out to me, I think it was Saliba, might have been Gabriel, wins a header.
Haaland.
And Haaland just trucks right into him.
That was in the first 10 minutes. Yeah.
Like that if people are saying that Trossard foul is a yellow card,
yep.
That Haaland foul was way worse because he's not looking at the ball. The ball's coming over Haaland's head. He runs straight through the center defender who wins the ball. He calls a foul, fine. But again, no major talking to. To me, that should have been a yellow card. Then the Trossard yellow for the jersey pull, right call. And the whole sequence of leading up to the goal, I have a problem. Or leading up to the red card, I have a problem with. Stoppage time was over, and City had a free kick at half. Which to me is not, like, you can blow the ball. You can blow half at that time, and I don't think anyone has a huge problem with it. Ball gets played in. Won by Arsenal. Again, won by Arsenal. Ball's in the air. You can call half there because we're already a minute over. Then the ball falls to Bernardo. There's the coming together. Whistle's blown. And then within a second, Trossard's kicking the ball and is getting a second yellow. That, to me, you're in a loud stadium. There was obviously something that just happened. All of the fans are erupting and screaming. And if you watch it again, watch Trossard's foot, because he does kick the ball hard, but watch his foot right before he hits the ball. He slows his foot down to try and pull it back. At least that's how I saw it. And when as a player, when you're like, you know how that is, like you're doing something, you've committed to it, and you can't stop yourself. I think he tried to stop himself because he immediately, once he kicks it, he turns around and goes like this. And then he sees the cards come out, and then boom, he's sent off. So insanely harsh. And the sad part to me is, like, theatrically, yes. Like, if you look at the whole game, and there's so much to talk about now because of it, it made the game great in different ways.
As in for a neutral, yeah.
But it really took away from what was, in my opinion, setting up to be one of the best halves of football that we were probably going to see all season. Because that first half, if you really think about it, it was really physical. It was pretty chippy. You had multiple cards. You had 3 great goals. It's not like any of the goals were weak. You have one gorgeous finish from Calafiori, a great finish from Haaland with a great build-up from Savinho in the through ball, and then you have an amazing set piece. Like, to me, the game was set up perfectly. And then the second half, I think it really is what it is. Not much you can do from an Arsenal perspective. Yeah, you park the bus. Then, to me, the reason why we lost was Timber having to get subbed. Because Lewis Skelly comes in, Kivior comes in, and that was the only corner that we didn't have pressure on the ball almost immediately. And Lewis Skelly, I believe, was the one playing outside right back, and the free kick happened from the right. So that should have been him getting there quickly. Because our 3 center backs were, Ben White was one, Saliba, Gabriel. We had Kivior out left, and then, Lewis Skelly was out right. So he would have been the one getting that initial pressure. And since he wasn't there, and then bringing someone with him, which I think if it was Timber, he knows where he should be, knows what should be happening, doesn't happen the same way. And then the one thing you didn't talk about, which I do find interesting, I don't know where the 7 minutes of stoppage came from.
Oh,
because
that was going to be my next question.
At the end of the day, and I didn't realize it until Monday or Tuesday when I was looking at some of the statistics, but I was like, well, I don't know. Like there were no goals in the second half, so there's none there. There were no sending offs in the second half. There were subs, but it's not like Arsenal had the ball and was able to do a bunch of time wasting. Timber went down. Raya went down. But
2 or 3 times.
Yeah, but the statistic I saw, the ball was in play the second half of the Arsenal City game for 35 minutes, which is longer than the ball was rolling in any other half of Premier League football at all this season. That when you look at that,
I did see that set.
And you see 7 minutes, and then they didn't even score in the 7 minutes. They scored after the 7 minutes. It's disappointing.
Conspiracy theories.
I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, if you ask me before the game, a point at the Etihad, are you happy? Yes. Especially when you add on the fact City had an extra day of rest, and they played at home on Wednesday when we played in Italy, and we're also down Odegaard. Like, to me, it shows City was grasping to draw a game with 45 minutes against a 10-man Arsenal. It, I think, shows how much closer the teams are now than a lot of people give credit for. And in the same game, Rodri, unfortunately, for City, and for him, obviously, is out now for probably close to the entirety of the season. Maybe we'll come back for a little bit at the very, very tail end.
And KDB's been out.
And KDB's been out.
I don't know.
It's a lot was sacrificed from City's perspective just to get a point. And I think if you're Arsenal, walking away from that, yeah, you're gutted you didn't get 3, because sitting on top of the table after the 5 or 4 games we had to start, that was a 5 or 4 we're in? 4, right? 5.
5 now.
Yeah. The 5 games we're in to start the season, and having away at Tottenham and away at City and also playing Brighton in those 5 games. And if we were sitting top of the table after that, I think Arsenal would have been flying and feeling amazing. But we're still in the race. Some of the toughest fixtures we have are out of the way. We're doing it without Odegaard. And defensively, we look really, really, really good. And I'm pumped for the rest of the season. But that one, man, the whole thing.
All right.
Pretty messed up. But
all right.
what about you, Javi? We've only been talking about this game for about 47 minutes.
Here, I'm not going to go back through the whole game again because you guys already did that twice. But what I'm going to say is, so you can watch the previous video on this channel. I talked about Michael Oliver's performance. So I went over a lot of those points in that video, so you guys can go ahead and watch that video if you want. The only thing I want to say that I didn't say in that video in regards to not the refereeing, but Georgia, you mentioned it, the performance, people talking shit to Arsenal about how you're supposed to be a Premier League title contender and you go and play like that. There's not a single team in the entire world that can go to the Etihad, so they're playing away at Manchester City, get a red card, and still want to play a regular style of football. Not a single team in the world.
Big Ainge might, but it wouldn't turn out well.
Yeah. So I think we've talked about Arsenal's last few performances because there's been a lot of things that we didn't like going our way with the Declan Rice red card, Martin Odegaard, all that stuff. Is Arsenal have had to put in necessary performances that you have to put in if you want to win the Premier League. I think last year we gave them a lot of criticism for the fact that they went away to Manchester City and they played for the draw. And that was a performance that they didn't need to play for a draw because they were just hoping that at some point Manchester City would drop points, and when you leave it in somebody else's hands, that's when you lose. Arsenal were in a position where the only thing that they could do to find success was to have to park the bus the way that they did. And they weren't doing it for a draw. They were doing it for a win because they were up. Mm-hmm. So because we were up 2-1, if you do that and you get the win out of it, there's nothing better than that. If we were tied, then of course you could kind of still make that criticism, but even then, you're still a player down against the best team in the world, or the team that's been the best team in the world over the last 5 or 6 years or whatever. So that really pissed me off because it's like, it's almost like Big Ainge where he's saying like, oh, I'm not going to change my tactics high line. Okay, but you know what the result is going to be. You can say, okay, Arsenal shouldn't play like that. Okay, sure, they shouldn't play like that. But you know what the result is going to be. Manchester City's going to score 2 or 3 goals in the second half, and game's done. So we had to play like that in order, based on the circumstances that we had. And just like you said, before that, we were playing a good style. We were trying to win the game. All right. What I found interesting was Bernardo Silva's comments after the game about how it feels to play against Arsenal, and he said that when they play against Arsenal, it's not like playing against Liverpool, because Liverpool try and win the game when they play against Liverpool. And he said that Arsenal, basically just talking shit about Arsenal, saying that they're still not as good as Manchester City, or they still really can't compare because they also haven't won a Premier League and they haven't won the Champions League, just like Liverpool, right? So he's like praising Liverpool, but that's something that you say only when a team has gotten under your skin. And he doesn't say that for Liverpool because they've always gotten the better of Liverpool, except for that one season. So it's like easy to say like, hey, I appreciate you because you come and play us straight up, but I also do that because I'm going to beat you most of the time, because I've beaten you for the Premier League most of the time. Now he's feeling a lot of pressure because Arsenal are actually getting to the point where everybody's thinking this might be the season where they actually beat Manchester City. That's like bothering him and getting under his skin. So for me, that's a good thing as an Arsenal fan.
He's a prick anyway.
Yeah, he's just like one of those people. It's like, dude, that's just the way. It's like one of those people. Like, oh, well, they come here and they don't want to win. It's like, yeah, they had a fucking red card. What do you expect them to do?
Yeah.
They were winning. They were beating you 2-1. And if it wasn't for that last play, literally the last play of the game,
all you have to do is get through that corner kick.
yeah. So does it suck that we got a draw? Yes, it sucks that we got a draw. When you look at the game and how it played out, just like Joe said, if you were thinking that we'd get a draw going away at the Etihad, you'd probably be okay with that. And I think it's still so early in the season that it's okay for us to settle for a draw there, because if it was like the last 2 or 3 games, we'd be like, oh shit, we know how the last 2 or 3 games are going to play out against Man City. So there's still plenty of time, and they're going to come to us, and Gabriel is waiting for Erling Haaland at the Emirates. He said, I will wait. Or I don't know if he said I will wait, but he said like, can't wait for that game or whatever. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Michael Oliver had a nightmare.
I still don't understand why he gets these games, because I feel like there's multiple games, big games, that he's really.
What do you remember?
Up.
Do you guys remember my conspiracy theory from last year?
No.
Of course you don't. Michael Oliver, where did he go to ref games? You guys remember that segment? When I said he went to...
I do remember you said something about it, but I don't remember where it was.
And you guys were, oh, don't say it. Conspiracy theories is the government.
Well, what'd you say?
He literally went to UAE and to like the Middle East to referee games.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I do now that you say it, yeah.
He's had a nightmare, mate.
He did.
He's had a nightmare.
And he's always doing it for Manchester City.
To your point, though, Joe, like, who else? Anthony Taylor?
No.
Like, when you think about some of the other names, you're like, fuck, that's not. And they just...
Honestly, I almost think they should give some of their newer ones a try at it, because it's like these other, the experienced ones, they have experience of messing it up, so we're going to just continue to do the same thing and give them these games and have them mess it up again. At least when you have new... Who's the guy that you really like? The military-looking guy? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what his name is, but he's the one that was refereeing the Nottingham Forest.
The other debacle
versus Brighton match. So I was like, I'm not even going to mention his name, because I was thinking about that too. I was like, they should have given it to him. And
I actually don't think that was bad.
No, it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
You're always going to get criticism.
No, like
the delay of that one to me was the bad part, because he went no foul and then he went foul, yellow card.
But I completely understand why he did that, because he saw he didn't. He thought he got the ball, but the fourth referee was obviously right there.
Yeah, and do you know who the fourth referee was?
Anthony Taylor.
Was it
who was suspended and not allowed to actually officiate this past weekend because of how bad. Like, that's the other, like, that's the thing that's, so you're not good enough to actually officiate a game, so we're just going to have you be a fourth official instead. It just shows how bad they need officials.
Tell you what, this exact situation happened to me 2 weeks ago, coaching. And I'm not going to mention what happened exactly, but it was the same situation. The referee makes a call, right? Referee makes a call. Clearly states what that call is in public to everyone. And it's always, when you argue with the referee, they always tell you, this is what I saw, and that's why they call it that way, right? So he says, got all the ball. You can see him make the hand sign of like, he got all the ball. And then that's why it pisses Nuno Espirito Santos afterwards, because he's like, you fucking told us that he got all the ball, and then 2 seconds later you went and gave him a yellow or a red or whatever. So it's okay that the fourth official sees something different, but if you're the center, that's why you're the center, because you're the one that makes that decision.
Yep.
So if he would have waited and not said anything and then talked to the fourth official and then been like, this is what I saw, this is what you saw, and kept that private, and then came back and it's like, okay, we've come to a conclusion, it's a second yellow, red, then it's okay, because that's kind of what's supposed to happen. But when you verbally and like tell the whole world exactly what you saw and then you go with something different, that's when people get really pissed off.
But was that tackle a yellow card? I think it's a yellow card.
Yeah. I think it was too.
He could have broken his leg.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Like he did get the ball.
Yep.
But the scissor motion
Motion
of
of second,
like
yeah.
he break his leg. And then on top of that, both managers get a red card.
That was the thing I was watching. I'm like, wait, did they both get sent off?
Yeah.
3 people in one
Yeah.
situation.
Well, people
got sent
forget.
off.
So people forget, because I hate when people say he got the ball first. I'm like, yeah, he got the ball first, but if you get the ball and the player, it's still a foul.
If you get the ball and break their leg, it's still
Yeah.
like you can't do that.
So I agree. I think it was a yellow. I'm surprised at why Herzler got the red.
He was outside the technical area.
I know,
complaining.
but it's going your way. So that's a situation where it's like, calm
up.
down. You don't need to say anything because it's gone exactly the way you wanted it to. So now you kind of screwed yourself over while getting the call that you wanted.
Yeah.
I get, but
I think both managers started the season with a yellow card, and now a red card. So more managers getting more yellow cards than red cards.
I wonder, we should look up to see if there's a stat, if there's when the last time was in the Premier League that both managers have been sent off in the same match. Because it's probably been a little bit of
A
time.
Mourinho game.
I was thinking a Tuchel Conte game.
Oh yeah. Well, no, they didn't get sent out though because they just
fought.
I think
technically.
no,
I think they technically got sent off after the match.
they?
Then I think they both got shown reds because that's when
fine.
everyone
it came together.
like
right?
came together, and I think they both got sent off.
Both got sacked. In the
All
morning.
right, so let's move on. Though.
There's one Premier League game we talked about.
So that's what I was gonna say. I think today, like for the most part, besides that,
No, we talk about the referees.
yeah.
Yeah, next Martinez. That's a record.
Which one?
The man looks like an eagle.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Oh, Lisandro
Yeah.
Martinez,
Just look up.
Oh,
look
when
at,
he- the
look at the
tackle?
picture. Yeah.
the 2-footed
Just
tackle.
look up the picture and you're gonna see an eagle.
You think it's a red card?
I think it's a record because it's
Pictures are misleading.
So what happened? It was at
It's-
the edge of the 18-yard box. They were playing Crystal Palace, I think, right?
Yep.
And,
No, just look at the picture while he's
and
talking.
he goes in for what you'd expect, like a 2-footed tackle. He jumps and goes like this, kind of like
Yeah.
I guess an eagle's a good way to put it because his feet are like together, his heels are together but out, and he stomps down on the ball.
Yeah.
It's one of the. I don't think it would be crazy if he got a red card, but he was also so far away from the other person, like he didn't come in contact with them at all.
Yeah. Look, if he would, that's a broken leg.
Dude,
He ain't
it was-
moving.
Right, but if you do that when there's no player around,
No, but the player was around. It's not like he was
But
going for
right.
the ball.
So, but the distance, if it's far enough to where it's really not as reckless as you think it is.
There was like a ball and probably about a half yard on maybe each side of the ball.
Was it like, was it he barely missed the guy, or like
He did barely miss it because the ball moved. He didn't get the ball, did he?
Yeah, he did. He got the ball. Lisandro Martinez got the ball. I think the other player also didn't go for the ball because when he looked up,
They did.
Martinez was
there's
in
an eagle
midair,
running
like
yeah.
about to talent. Like he literally looked like he was the Tottenham Hotspur logo, trying to like reenact and like get stuck in like
Yeah,
grab his
that's
talons
what
on the
people
ball.
were posting.
Where the oh
Yeah, that's literally the new Crystal Palace logo.
that one? And so the refereeing was crazy because that one and the Vicario handling,
Vicario was crazy.
I don't understand. But,
handling the ball outside of the box, clear as day.
but you can't do anything. That's the thing. Like people are like, why didn't VAR get it? Because VAR can't get involved in that because it's not a sending
Yeah.
off offense. It's not a penalty.
That's the only reason.
It's
But
just It's just a handball and a free kick.
Yeah.
But is it not a red card?
No,
because he's not denying a clear goal scoring
because there
opportunity.
was cover defenders.
But what if the guy just lobs it over everyone?
the guy didn't have the ball?
yeah.
Well, he didn't because
Vicario grabbed it outside the box.
Vicario
No,
grabbed
but
it.
Vicario had it before he committed the offense. Vicario had already touched it
Because he
away from him.
He'd hit it like 3 times. He had like
Yeah.
twice in the box.
and then he dropped it and then he slapped it and it's like, I don't know.
So it's essentially just like a regular person just putting their hand up and stopping the ball in the middle of the pitch because he wasn't denying a clear goal scoring opportunity. So I agree with Joe's point. Like, you can't really do it. It pisses you off, but you can't really do anything. That's something that the fourth official or one of the other three officials should have told the referee, hey, did you just not see that clear handball? But the VAR
and
can't
that
be
happened in
involved.
the Crystal Palace game where Manchester United, the goalkeeper grabbed it out of the box, and they gave a foul, yellow card, whatever, and then they had a free kick.
Those are the things that suck about VAR, though, because I do think the referees, like, in your head, because it's all happening so fast. Like, we say all these things and we're sitting on TV that if we were sitting on the side of the field, like, the pace of it all is so quick. That
I could do it.
You have to make those decisions so fast, and I think the referees are swallowing their whistles more and more just because it's like, I do have VAR to bail me out if I really mess it up, but in these situations, they can't.
The sideline ref has to see that.
You would think, but I the fourth official sometimes not even watching the game. Fourth official sometimes just talking to the
be fair,
coaches.
on the Vicario one, the fourth official, there's no way he can tell if it's inside or outside.
It would have had to be the linesman, but I think the linesmen are set up like this, and it happened on this side of the box over here. So the closest person should be the center.
Yeah.
So it's...
Yeah, but still, there's four people on the pitch that one of them, especially when that's like, if it's off the ball and it's somewhere else and maybe that none of them are looking in that direction, but they're all looking in that direction. So you're telling me out of the four people that were watching that happen, not a single one thought like, dude, that should have been a yellow.
Yeah.
But
do you guys think, question for you here, do you think that second yellow cards should be VAR-able?
Reviewed, yeah.
I think so.
If it leads to a red card, why? Like, it should.
Because it does, that's it.
Like a first yellow, no.
But the second one should be. And making sure.
But then you run into like, well, my first one wasn't a yellow, so now then people...
It's a slippery slope.
But you can't go, yeah.
It just starts becoming like, how much do we want? Again, they wanted to limit the amount of times that VAR can intervene. Yeah. You start doing that, you start getting into like, oh,
well, I got a good idea.
At that second yellow, but they didn't look at the Vicario handball as a yellow, and it creates a problem.
Get rid of VAR. Simple as that. Then we'll never have to worry about getting too much into the game. Just go back to referees making mistakes, and nobody will. Think about it. We literally talk about VAR every week.
Yeah.
Because honestly, these weren't VAR mistakes. They were just poor refereeing mistakes. And the problem is the type of the referee mistakes that were poor, VAR couldn't help them. Because I do think if VAR was involved, some of those second yellows won't happen. Whether you look at the Morgan White, Gibbs White probably would. I could see this Trossard one not being one. Yeah. Because you know what the Trossard one reminds me of? It reminds me of the Van Persie red card away at Barcelona.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I said I might have said that in the video or not.
I don't even remember.
He kicks the ball away after, like, he's about to take a shot, and he takes a shot, and you can tell that he's like clueless because they give him the red card, and he looks over at the referee like, "Are you crazy? Like, do you not hear the stadium? I can't hear you." And he got a second yellow, and he got a red card for it.
It is, I don't know, man. But it is like the kicking the ball away on those ones. It is hard because I can only imagine how loud it is in those places.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though. Michael Oliver was the referee for Liverpool. I believe it was Liverpool Forest. Dominic Soboslai is already on a yellow card.
Was he the referee?
Yep.
Kicks the ball away, and Michael Oliver does not give him a second yellow. Mm-hmm. And the time between Leandro Trossard and the whistle was like 1 second. The time between Dominic Soboslai and the whistle was like 1.13 seconds or something like that.
Yeah. So the Trossard one was less time, and he didn't get one. I think Michael Oliver was also the official who didn't give Kovacic a red card in Arsenal City last season.
And do you know what his explanation was?
I didn't want to ruin the game.
This year, the letter of the law.
Oh, no, that wasn't Howard Webb, right?
Yeah.
That's what Howard Webb
But Howard Webb isn't Howard Webb like...
It's his boss.
Yeah.
Really.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is the consistency.
Yeah.
But,
okay, let me ask you this. Havertz and Timber do not complete a pass in the whole game.
Don't care.
I mean, I don't want to say it makes sense.
Havertz makes sense to me.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Timber does not make sense to me. The whole first half, you don't complete a pass? How?
I mean, well, yeah, that's... He didn't complete a pass in the whole game is the most skewed statistic of ever because it's like the second half we completed like 3 passes as a team.
Yeah,
so,
but you have 45
minutes. But again, we were defending most of it.
I just don't.
Those stats I do not care about.
And he was playing. I was interested to see Ben White not start. I think it ended up being a decent call, but probably because he also played on Thursday.
Yeah.
But
Arteta said that they didn't want to use him, but they had to. That's why they put him in.
yeah. I'm trying to think. Why wouldn't he have completed a pass in the first half?
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of a weird
thing.
Like Havertz, I get it. You're up there alone sometimes. You don't. Really,
I don't care because we were 3 seconds away from pulling off an unbelievable result in an impossible situation that no team could ever.
Could you
pull a
imagine
result
we
on.
win that game though? God.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I'm so proud. Like honestly, in my head, we won the game. Like I know we didn't get the 3 points, but most people I think watching the games would say Arsenal did everything that they could.
Before the season started, we all said Arsenal are favorites. Rodri's out now. Arsenal are 1,000% the favorites.
Yeah.
Without Rodri, there's no City.
Yeah. The only criticism that people are going to say is that Arsenal's performances have not been great in terms of their playing style. We're not playing the same way that we were playing.
No.
Like when we're like, oh my God, we're just killing teams right now. Like
Well,
all attacking football. One of the that's right, but one of the pundits brought up a stat and it was like Arsenal have the least amount of possession.
Yeah.
They're like in fifth to last place in terms of like possession. So that's the criticism that people are going to give you. However, again, back to what I've been saying, necessary performances early on. As the season continues, we're going to get back to, we'll have, once we get Mikel Merino and Martin Odegaard back, and hopefully we stay injury free. But those are things that you will never know.
I mean, also too, we've got, I don't know. To me, playing that way, super, super, super defensively, not only we're parking the bus every game, but we're a hard team to beat, which makes me very happy too, especially for the Champions League. Yeah. Because that's the way I think Arteta's trying to set us up now, more than anything, is to make deep runs in the Champions League. Because I think we've proven we can come close and we'll be there at the end for the Prem.
And Raya has been playing unbelievably.
What was the Atalanta, right? The PK and the double save?
Yeah.
One of the best saves I've seen.
Anyone still thinking Ramsdale?
The guy's like, did you hear the interview after the game with like CBS? Yeah, where would you rank that in your saves? He's like, it's definitely not my best one, but in the top 5 somewhere. My bro, this is definitely your best one.
No, his best. The save he had against Tottenham last season?
I don't remember.
Remember that one?
He's had some really good saves.
But that's a double
amazing
save. Like, that's a PK and you get back and you
And the
save
second
that.
one's harder than the PK save. The second one was
because it bounces right on
the line. He's legit.
He's been making some really good. He's been playing better this year than he has in the past, I think.
Where do you rank him compared to the other goalies in the world?
He's top now.
Dang.
No. Like he's one of the
Is
top.
he better than Allison right now?
Well, Allison's injured.
No, but before Allison was injured, because Allison's only been injured for what, the last game or game and a half?
Yeah, 2 games now. But no, I don't think he's better than Allison.
Say he's in the conversation at least now. I wouldn't say he's better.
I think he's top 3 in the Premier League, definitely, without a doubt. I think
Allison, and who?
I don't. I mean, this is
Ederson?
I don't
like
rate
Ederson, honestly. Now that
yeah, but Ederson's hard because he doesn't do as much as some of the other goalkeepers. And what he does do well is better than almost. Than I think his distribution is. Nobody touches his distribution. But
I can't think of another goalkeeper, to be honest. That's even
the one that you played a back pass to back in the day.
Vicario,
man.
Bro, no, he's nowhere near.
No,
he had 5 good games last
all right,
season.
let's move on though. So I don't even want to talk about the rest of the Premier League this week. We'll talk next one because we'll be here for 10 hours, and I think that's the biggest game of the weekend. Let's chat. I got a question. Let's go question of the day. Okay, this is also for the viewers. Let us know in the comment section your answer to this. What's the craziest football moment you can remember, good or bad? Georgie, we'll start with you.
I have there's like different crazies though. Crazies and like, oh my God, I can't believe this.
Here we go again with this bullshit.
No, I'll give 2 answers.
I'm with you on that too.
See, it's hard because there's crazy like, what the hell did I just see?
Yeah.
And like, how did this team pull it off? How did this guy pull it off? Okay, I'll give
Pick
you 2.
one, I don't care.
Zidane headbutt. I was like, what the hell is this guy thinking in the World Cup final and all that? And then Liverpool, AC Milan comeback, that Champions League final moment, type of thing. So those are the 2.
Joe, what do you got?
I looked at it different. I was looking at like what are some weird, crazy things that like I've personally experienced,
Oh,
like
well,
playing
never.
or coaching or reffing.
Did you headbutt a guy?
The
The fact you're thinking about it?
No. I've elbowed somebody. I've kicked people and punched them, but I've never.
Oh,
headbutted.
punch.
Actually, I don't know if yeah, I have. I don't think I got caught though in that one. The one, I guess, from a pro standpoint that I remember seeing that is crazy. It's crazy for two reasons. Number one, I was at the game, Colombia, Uruguay, where James scored his Puskas winning goal at the World Cup. The sad and crazier part about that, I had sun poisoning that day, and I felt like absolute trash. And Daryl convinced me to go get a burger like 4 minutes before he scored it. So I watched it on the fucking television, standing at the concession stand. So that sucks.
First of all, why would you ever do that in a World Cup match?
Well, so we were in Brazil for 17 days, and that was our 5th game we had gone to, and I was like, I don't know if you ever had sun poisoning before, like where I had like a fever of like 103 degrees. I felt absolutely terrible, but I only went to the game because this is our last game while we're here. We leave in a day, like, and I was just like zombieing through it. And he kept nagging me. He's like, let's go. I'm like, dude, can you just shut up? Just go. I don't want to get up. And he's like, come on.
How are you gonna blame Daryl when he can't
Fine.
even
Don't blame
defend
Daryl.
himself?
Fine, I'll go. Huh? I'm not blaming. I mean, that's.
You literally.
I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm
Oh,
a grown man and I made the decision, but he kept nagging me and I caved to it and I went. So that, like, the mixture of me being sick, we had been there for so long, we had seen so many games, and what are the odds that that's what I'm going to miss? Like, I was like, maybe I'll miss something. It won't be that crazy. The game was pretty prior to that. That was one of the things. And then it's not necessarily crazy, but I found it super weird. We were playing against Adrian in college, and they kept calling one of the guys on the other team. Like, their fans were pretty loud, and Siena Heights and Adrian were in the same city, so it was like a rivalry. And their fans were loud, and they kept saying, "Go Nemo, Nemo, Nemo," like Finding Nemo. And I'm like, who? What? I don't understand. And like every time they're right outside back or outside mid would like get the ball or throw it in, they would say Nemo, Nemo. And like at halftime, I realized they were calling him Nemo because one of his arms was like a nub. And you know how Nemo has like the limp fin? And I'm like, these guys are literally they're ripping on their own player, calling him Nemo because of his like tiny hand. Or
but was
tiny
it like
arm.
was it like a positive thing? Like this is just like a not sweet, but like a nickname that like they just kind of gotten used to,
It
and
has
it's
to
like
be.
that's how they cheer him on?
Yeah.
Or was it like they were talking trash to their own player?
No, they were cheering him on,
Okay,
and
that's
I was
just-
like, but like when it hit me, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is messed up on so many levels that they're calling this guy Nemo.
Yeah.
Those would be my two.
But that the crazy thing about that is that how long ago was that?
10 years.
10 years. 10 years? Some of the things that I said 10 years ago that I realized like now I'm like, how could I be so stupid to say those things? 10 years ago, not that it's ever okay, but 10 years ago things weren't as bad as they are now. When you see
100%.
those situations, you're like, absolutely not. Cut it off right now. Back then it was just kind of like
Do it.
eh,
Just a normal.
whatever.
Yeah.
Cool. Mine is going to be I'll give you two for Georgie because Georgie kind of went like good things and crazy thing. The craziest thing for me that I've ever seen was Eriksson almost dying on the pitch in the Euros back in
Oh, yeah.
2016, was it? I think it was 2018. I think it was 2018.
No, 20.
I believe it was 2018 because I remember where I was exactly, and I was at
2020.
DCFC.
Yeah, 2021 because
No,
Yeah,
was
it
it?
was the
They
2020
canceled?
Euro played in 2021,
Yeah.
correct? Yep, because
No.
the Euros just happened this year, 2024, and it was the previous Euros before that. And they
Yeah.
happen every 4 years. It was 2021,
Are you sure?
100%. Because I
It
was
was
at my
after
new
COVID.
house watching it, and we didn't move in until 2020.
The only reason I say it is because that's not true. Actually, I don't know.
What's not
The only
true?
reason I say it is because I feel like I remember that I was in the apartments at in Southfield where they used to house players.
Would you not have been there in 2021?
no.
No, I would have been there in 2018. And I remember being on the bed.
There wasn't a Euro in 2018.
Yeah, so maybe
It would have had to be
I'm confusing
2016,
it.
2020, or 2024.
Yeah. And they played it in 2021 because of COVID.
Okay, so I'm wrong. I'm wrong about where I was. But I still remember watching that, thinking how crazy it was that I was about to watch. Like, I've never watched a person die in front of me. And I was like, but I'm serious. Like, watching it on television, now what they do is as soon as something crazy like that happens, they cut to commercial, they show the referees, the fans, whatever. They were like trying to get views
of
him being like what's it called, resuscitated.
Yep.
And the longer it went on, the scarier it got. Like, I remember watching also, like, when Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez, and Pacquiao was on the boxing ring on the floor for like a good 30 seconds and he wasn't moving. And the longer those go on, the more your heart starts to race because you're like, holy shit, this guy's not waking up.
Yeah.
And that one was a solid,
It was long.
like 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Somewhere on there. And I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm about to watch a man die on television. And it was Christian Eriksen. So that one was crazy. Which ultimately, good thing that he survived. Second of all, it brought up a lot of awareness on first aid, CPR, like the use of those machines, whatever they're called.
Defibrillators.
Defibrillators. So that was good because that helped out. And I think that probably has saved a lot of lives since. And then the other one was the Kun Aguero scoring the goal to win the Premier League because the circumstances could not have been any tighter. Like, they won that off of goal differential that year because of that goal, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it was based on points.
Because that goal got them the win. They were losing.
Are you sure? Somebody check that.
Because they were losing the game.
They were losing 2-1 and they won 3-2.
I know, but I think they tied on Manchester United because of the win, but they won on goal differential.
You might be right on that. I'm not sure.
I know Manchester United tied the last game of the season.
It was 2012.
Yeah.
So just check the table in 2012.
I was laying on the parents' couch and I was like kind of watching the game like, nah. And then Dzeko scored the goal, I think, before, right?
Yeah, the header.
And Balotelli, right? Balotelli scored one?
No, Balotelli gave the assist to Aguero.
Yeah, on the falling down.
I mean, Balotelli might have scored one.
Through.
But that was the only assist that Balotelli had. I don't know if it was all...
So this will happen. So, yeah, they won on goal difference, but that it wasn't... They needed to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
they
what I'm
went
saying...
into the game knowing if we win...
And Manchester United had to draw.
Right.
Yeah.
And Manchester United did draw, and they were happy that Man City were drawing.
They were happy. They were like, oh, Man City's losing, and they're in extra time, and we drew, so we're good.
And I remember Wayne Rooney and Sir Alex's faces after.
It is wild. How could they not get a win? Because they had a pretty easy game.
It was against West Brom, I think.
Like, that's the crazy part, too. Like, all you need to do is win.
Wait, let me check.
Against West Brom, and I think they were at home.
I'm just saying...
United was away?
I think they were away.
It couldn't have been...
couldn't beat West Brom to win the Premier League. Man.
It couldn't have been tighter in terms of the points and stuff. Like, it's not like, oh, we just get a draw and we win by 2 points, or we win and we win by 3 points. They had to win just to tie on goal differential, and win the Premier League on goal differential. So, like, it literally wasn't it couldn't have been any closer. And they were down in overtime, and then they came back and scored 2 goals. And Kun Aguero had a fantastic finish. And he talks about it in his book too. I read his book, and he starts his book by talking about that specific situation and how, like, he was thinking in that split second, should I go down and try and get a penalty? But then he was like, well, if I go down and I don't get a penalty called, I'm going to feel like shit. Or if we get the penalty called and we miss, I'm going to feel like shit. So he stayed on his feet and scored the goal.
It's wild. In a split second, so many things rest through your head like that.
I can't find that game for some reason.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We're going to waste our time doing that.
What a game.
People will correct us in the comment section as usual anyway.
Sounds right.
All right. Well, with that being done, let's go into Joe's segment, the sports card segment.
How much did Michael Oliver's card get sold for?
Do referees have trading cards?
No chance.
They should.
Not that I've seen. I actually was going back and forth on who to pick. I'm like, who have we already done? Who have we not done? New person, old person. I was like, maybe we should do Holland and Gabrielle. But I was like, you know what? We're gonna go different. We haven't gone and picked any women yet, so I picked 2 ladies.
Wow.
Yep.
They should just retire.
That may be one of the 2.
Is she American?
I will say both are American. We'll start with Trinity Rodman. How much did Trinity Rodman's most expensive
She's fairly new, so
card sell for? She is new. She is the son of a Hall of Fame basketball player. Or daughter of a Hall
so
of Fame
he
basketball
bought her card.
player. He could have.
Smart
How
man.
much? Trinity Rodman.
Dude, I have honestly no 3,000. I don't know.
Okay.
175.
Dollars?
Mm-hmm.
$175?
Mm-hmm.
$800.
Damn. Wow.
So you win. You didn't go
Her,
over.
her dad is cheap as hell.
I don't know. I doubt her dad bought her card, but
No, I mean I would have bought my daughter's
All right, what's the next one?
the next one, recently retired, Alex Morgan. What did her most expensive sports card sell for?
I'm gonna go with my girl, cause that's wifey. I'm gonna say 10K.
I think you're a little crazy there. 10K.
I support my girl. so.
I'm gonna say 2,500.
Georgie wins. $16,000.
What? Damn.
That's what I mean. This
I
is
kind of feel like an asshole, to be honest, because like I completely undervalued both. of them.
see, Alex. If you watch this podcast,
It's so weird because you can never guess.
no, you can't.
Because
You
she's
can't.
worth, or her card is more expensive than a lot of big time.
Man. Like her card is more expensive than Roberto Carlos's most expensive card by like a lot. By like 10x.
No rhyme or reason. You just
All right. Well, with that being said, or with that being done, let's. I got the fun fact. Let me pull it up real quick. I think that's it. Yeah. Hold on. Where's my book? I got my soccer book. Oh, wrong wrong camera there. Hold on. There we go. I have it in here somewhere. Don't worry. Just patience, people. Patience. All right. Okay. Should I do it as a trivia question or should I do it just regularly? Because it's not really a trivia question, but it's kind of funny. All right. This is the page on formations. All right, formations. It's curious because we've rotated through a lot of different formations. Let me just read you this. Let me read you this right here about formations. The 1-2-7. You ever played a 1-2-7?
every day.
When you're chasing a game, play the 1-2-7.
George is the head of the spear of the 7 at the front.
Okay. In football's earliest days, forward passes were not permitted. Players could pass the ball sideways or backward, although this was seen as contrary to the spirit of the game. Instead, players moved up the field using a kind of charge dribble with several teammates in attendance.
So like the
So
flying
NFL.
V in Mighty Ducks, where like one person's dribbling and you have people in front of them running forward, like creating space.
Essentially. All right. Which transformed eventually into the 2-3-5, the pyramid, which is kind of crazy because the 2-3-5 is close to what we're starting to see.
Is what Maresca plays.
Yeah, honestly, which is kind of funny, right? In 1866, the rules were changed to allow forward passing.
When was this?
1866,
Oh, wow.
provided there were at least 3 opponents between the player receiving the ball and the goal. This put more pressure on defenses, and by the 1880s, the standard formation had evolved into the more defensive 2-3-5. The more defensive 2-3-5.
Can you
know what's
imagine
wild?
the refereeing? Like
That's what I was going to say.
Like, you gotta. I don't know. That's crazy.
They can't get offsides right, out of bounds right, handballs right, charging right now. And
I'll tell you what.
There were not 3 players in between that pass.
I'll tell you what. Pep's tactics he would have struggled more back in that day, in those times, than he does currently right now. But yeah, that's it. That's it for this one. Episode 55 in the books, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting close to 60, which you guys know I like my even numbers. Make sure you guys follow us. Where, Joe? Somewhere around here. Invisible links. And then, do you guys have anything else to finish off? Georgie, you got anything?
Nope.
Joe?
Thank you as always.
All right. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.